One of them wanted to be the security guy. He claimed he was a security guy.
All right, welcome to Security Guy Radio, sir. What's your name?
Thanks, Chuck. My name's Steve Caroselli.
And what do you do, Steve?
I'm with Orion Entrance Control Incorporated. We're a turnstile manufacturer located in Laconia, New Hampshire.
Oh, a manufacturer. I'm glad to hear that because we don't see many manufacturers. USA?
USA, 100% owned and operated.
Excellent. And what do you guys do?
We manufacture optical turnstiles. So turnstiles with any kind of glass barrier, metal barrier, moving barriers, with optical sensors to detect passage of motion as you walk through the lane.
All right, I'm very intrigued.
Thank you.
We looked at this before we started filming, and we're going to see some really, really cool stuff. How big's your company?
So the company is just turning 7 years old this year. We ship internationally, and we've been shipping about 9 different countries last year for Amazon. We're their corporate standard there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, are turnstiles becoming the new standard?
Oh, turnstiles have been the standard since about 9/11.
Well, but nobody has them because they're super expensive, right?
Yeah, they are super expensive. That's one of our favorite parts. But no, they're really becoming the standard for most corporations, high-rise buildings, campuses, a lot of universities. We're starting to see them at hospitals. We work with Children's Hospital in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the days of the pen and paper access control are way gone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I see companies even that they can afford it, they still don't go that way. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But maybe they still don't understand the technology.
Yeah, there's a lot of education in what we do. We spend a lot of time working with the architects, with the consultants, specifically the integrators as well.
Now, back in the day, I worked at Fox and Disney for 10 years.
Yes.
So we had a big checkbook. We could buy turnstiles. We never did. We had a lot of social reasons for it.
Okay.
In other words, we didn't think the employees would like it. We thought the employees might think it's too restrictive. Now, that's a movie environment, of course, so a little more liberal, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Do you find there's a social resistance to turnstiles?
There can be.
As opposed to financial?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some campuses, as for an example, we did Facebook's campus about 4 or 5 years ago, and there was a big push to not include barriers. So it was a lot of education. We shot a lot of educational video prior to the implementation. Also, Cambia Insurance, we really focused on 2 things. When you go from a non-turnstile environment to a turnstile environment, that's one set of education.
Right.
Another is going from a pure optical with no barriers to a barrier environment. We do a lot of education around that as well.
So when we were looking at this years ago, one of the problems was proprietary systems.
Yes.
So my checkpoint access control wouldn't integrate with the turnstile, so guess what? We're not going to do it. Is that really an issue nowadays?
It really isn't. That's a great question, though. So I tell people we're basically a door on your access control system. The purpose of this door is to validate that one credential, whether it's a badge, facial recognition, or biometrics of some sort, one passage.
Right.
So that's the whole point of an optical turnstile, is to validate and stop tailgating.
So I can use HIT, I can use checkpoint, I can use any access control system I want.
Absolutely.
And your system's smart, and it can say, that's fine, we'll plug in your reader, we'll plug in whatever it is.
Yep.
Do you manufacture readers as well?
We do not.
Okay,
so
just
we're
the turnstile.
That's
good.
Optical turnstile company.
So that's your specialty.
That allows us to integrate with everybody on the planet.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
You want to show us some gadgets? This is my favorite part.
I do.
All right,
absolutely. So some of the simple things with visitor management, as an example.
Right.
A lot of people issue a barcode, so we can take any barcode, scan the turnstile with a visitor, and walk through. If you just stay there, I'll come right back out. This particular unit is our swing arm unit. It's one of our most popular, and it's set up for free exit, so I can walk out with no issues. We can then take the same unit, if I can find my badge.
Now, barcode, easier to defeat, or
yes,
you know.
So the issue with barcode is you can literally photocopy that.
Exactly, right.
Send it to a phone, etc. What people use it for is visitor management primarily.
Right.
So if you wanted to email somebody a barcode on a phone, they could use their phone, or a lot of people use the paper badges because they're inexpensive.
Okay.
So standard HID prox badge, same read head, You can
Same
walk
reader.
through. Yep.
Oh, interesting. Now,
So this is an IBC reader, International Barcode.
Right.
And they've integrated the antenna from HID or Indala
so
right
push
into
those bars there for me. Are those how rigid are those bars?
So the bars are actually very slack. By fire code, you should be able to push through with 5 to 15 pounds of pressure in either direction.
well, that's when it's open. Oh, that's locked.
The fire department wants to be able to get through.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
So I can push through, but we cause an alarm, which you probably can't hear right now because of the show, but it's an alarm, it's flashing.
Right. Okay. That's I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, in the old days, weren't they rigid?
The old barriers were definitely rigid, but the opticals have always been pushed through.
Okay. Good.
So we do have a braking feature. Go ahead and step back so I can clear the
go
lane.
ahead.
We do have a braking feature to allow, in certain circumstances, to lock the units.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So it's an electronic brake. We do that a lot on our swing glass. The image on the back wall is Amazon's location in China, so we lock those positively.
Does it do fail safe, fail secure?
Fail safe all the time.
So it will open. I mean, you can push it on, but it'll go to open when some kind of fire situation.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're connected to the fire system. We also have our software here that you can have an all open feature. Staples headquarters, as an example, wanted to be able to open in a non-fire related emergency, bomb threat, active shooter. So we put a button right on the software. They open everything.
Right.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, what else are you going to show me?
I'd like to take a moment and show you the software.
Okay, great.
One of the things that's neat about
Not sure it's
Orion.
going to come out. We'll give it a try, though.
We'll give it a shot. But we'll talk it through.
Yeah.
One of the nice things that's neat about Orion is we own 100% of our technology.
That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We design our own board, so we don't use a PLC. The boards are built in New Hampshire, and then we write our own software. So the algorithms that run the turnstile, as well as what the guard sees, and for service and support. So for an access control installer, they'll be able to go into the lane. This is what a guard would typically see to let people in and out or disable for the floor cleaners.
User-friendly.
It really is. The I/O screen allows you to turn the volume up and down from here. So I'm going to turn that up since it was a little bit quiet for our demonstration there. You can see the activity of all of the I/O, whether or not the fire input's active. So I had a call from a Department of Justice a few weeks ago saying, hey, 6:30 in the morning, I'm the only one there to answer the phone. Hey, the lanes are open, we don't know why. I walked them through the software. They saw that the fire input was off and realized immediately what had happened.
Oh, all right.
Turn the fire input back on and away they go. The nice thing about our software, again, is we count everything in both directions all the time. So we're able to push out data, like how many people are in the building right now, whether or not a turnstile needs to be serviced based on user count. We connect to building automation systems, for instance. One example of a counting scenario is at Penn State University. They wanted to go to the rec centers, put turnstiles in, and then push out to a student app how busy the rec center is, so that a student could look at the app and go, oh, I'm going to go to rec center A instead of B,
right? Because
B's got 150 people in it and A's got 20.
Oh, interesting.
So neat applications like that.
And can they use the app to gain access?
They can on a different type of app.
Like a barcode reader,
exactly.
Like at the airport.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Right, interesting. All right.
So we do a lot of that. As a matter of fact, this unit we built for airport fast boarding. So it has the barcode reader in it again with the HID reader for the attendants and the status indicator light.
So you mentioned Facebook.
Yes.
Did you
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, we're the global corporate standard for Amazon.
And there's a
Department of Justice.
Right.
We do a lot of universities. We do MIT, Yale.
All right. So here's what I'm impressed about.
Yes.
You don't have a 10,000 square foot booth.
No, we don't.
Those are expensive.
They are.
Right. So,
yeah.
That tells me your company is financially solvent and frugal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're 100% debt free. We believe in running the company debt free from day one.
See how I guessed that?
Yep. Yep.
You put up one of these gigantic mega booths.
Oh, they're expensive.
You're expensive.
Yes. Yeah, and we think we show very well. We're typically very busy at the shows.
Now, I travel a lot and go to a lot of airports. I've seen these scanners when I go to gates.
Yep.
How do I know it's yours? Any branding?
Nope, not at all. So we because we're very architectural specific, we don't currently have any at airports. We're testing units with a couple different airlines. That hasn't really come to America strong yet, but they're in tests with several.
Only a few people, and they kind of work most of the time.
Yeah.
What I've seen, right?
Yeah,
it's got to work all the time.
Yes.
So
yeah, we do see a lot of the competition not being used at the airport. So it's a new concept for airports.
But as we saw off camera, you showed me this next one.
This is amazing. I'll show you this. So we're highlighting a number of new technologies. I pointed out the barcode. That's pretty standard for visitor management. This next unit, we're actually showing new technology, facial technology, from a company called Blue Line. What's neat about Blue Line, they're a bunch of ex-police officers that came up with the technology. The primary programmer was with the Army, and developed this program on the side, retired, became a police officer, brought it to his chief, and they developed this company, Blue Line.
Wow, fabulous.
So I'm a technology junkie, so I really love when something works. And facial's been difficult to get running.
Yeah,
now.
it's hit and miss, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw this in St. Louis about 3 years ago for the first time, and it worked right away. So I've tracked with them, and I've invited them into our booth to show their technology.
Oh, excellent.
So
All right.
I'll show you real quick if I can.
Now, this is a really wide shot. We will do a wide shot first,
That's
and then
okay.
I'll zoom in on that,
Yeah, and the camera
that
happens to
screen
be
up there, yeah.
So the screen's there. You can see I go green. It sees me, and I walk through.
Now,
So I call it turnstile activity in motion.
Bring your mic up there.
I'm sorry.
Say that again.
So turnstile activity in motion. So you can literally walk through.
You know what I'll do? Let me shoot the screen while you're walking in, all right?
So come on in, and you can shoot the screen. I'll back out, and then come back through.
All right.
So
there you are on the
My
screen.
head down. I'm going to look up at the camera. You see it pick me up. My name's on there, and I come right in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
you
beautiful
didn't
technology.
really have to stop. You just kind of
Not
walked
at
up
all.
to it and went through.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in motion is what we look for in a turnstile, because your typical turnstile is about a 1 to 2 second transaction.
Right.
So we need very fast authentication to not break that stride.
Yeah, we did a study at Fox at the gate like 20 years ago, and we had to get people through faster, 5,000 visitors in cars,
Yes.
right? Hand your ID, blah, blah, blah. So we went to a little simple reader, and we decreased the time it took to get in there by 30 seconds a person, which equaled hours.
It's amazing.
Yeah, equals hours of delay.
Yeah,
Very
it adds up very quickly.
This is really neat stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So why don't we exit? We'll exit through the swinging glass unit. You can follow me right through. So you'll notice it stays open between transactions, so you don't have to. A lot of people in the old days, we used to have an optical mode that we'd turn it into, put the barriers away during high traffic situations.
Oh, yeah.
So what we've done is we've added a stacking and a lot of people mode.
Okay.
So that as it sees a lot of activity, it'll just stay open as long as it sees valid activity. So you don't have to wait for the barriers to transact.
Now, if I was going to do it and I was rich, I'd buy 2 of these and I'd create a Sally port.
Yep.
And people would be mad at me and they'd wait in line, but I don't care.
Yep.
Could you set that up if you wanted to?
That's a fantastic question. So we do that for unmanned entrances. An optical turnstile by design, typically you'll have a guard standing by someone.
Usually, yeah.
Because you can push through, right? We can positively lock this and do that. So we created a Sally port for an unmanned entrance in San Francisco for McKesson's World Headquarters. We had this unit actually, 4 or 5 lanes upstairs in their main lobby. And in their lower lobby, when you came off the subway, they had a hallway they wanted to use. So we put 2 of these in a row and added a machine vision camera in the middle to do the band trap.
Oh, okay.
So it's all linked together as one system. So you badge your card here, you go in, you know how a man trap works.
Yeah.
So yeah, we absolutely do that. Same scenario if you think about exit breach in an airport coming out. So we use machine vision imaging to validate where the activity is coming from, and then the turnstile validates one person in the lane at a time.
There's usually an in turnstile and an out turnstile, or not?
We're bidirectional, so I always encourage people to have multiple lanes. One, you can create bottlenecks, at least 2 lanes, and people are kind, so automatically they'll move out of the way for each other.
Right.
But a turnstile will handle 30 people a minute.
The reason I'm asking is because I always wanted to know who's in my building.
Yes.
At any second.
Yes.
Fire, evacuation, whatever, right?
Absolutely.
I assume you can set this up to read in and read out, or not read out if you wanted to?
Yep. So we're showing here all the turnstiles are read in, free exit.
Free
But
exit.
you'll notice on the other side, we're already set up to accept the exit reader.
Yeah.
So
What
do
do
a lot
most
of that for
companies pick?
debustering.
Do most companies pick exit read?
It definitely depends on the scenario. So your typical high-rise building in New York City, multi-tenant, is going to be a card in, free out. When we go into a campus environment like Zurich Insurance or Amazon, they're carding in and out.
See, I don't want in and out because I want to know if you're actually at work when you said you weren't, or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Well, it's a
That
cost
also helps with
analysis.
cost analysis and the anti-piggybacking. So within the access control system, I can't pass my card back to you.
Right.
Anti-pass back.
Now, let's talk about the integration part. Well, you know what? First, let's see this little gadget here.
Yeah,
this is kind of amazing.
This is really cool.
Let me get a wide shot first.
Yeah, please do.
This is not your reader.
Nope, this is Morpho Saffron's Wave Tower.
Okay.
We took all the guts out of it and made it really sexy on a turnstile. So essentially, you can wave your fingers, 1 to 4 fingerprints, and it grants access through.
That's amazing.
Then I'm going to free exit back out.
I mean, you did that. You did that very quickly.
Yeah. So we look for things in motion. So I can walk to the turnstile, badge it, and walk through.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So those are the kind of technologies we look to integrate with because that's what our customers are looking for.
Right.
We try to take more of an advisory role. We talk about what's the scorecard when selecting a turnstile company. That's one of the things we talk about is, do you own the technology? Can you integrate with any of the newer technologies? That's something we do really well.
Yeah. Now, I'm a big guy with two-way authentication.
Yes.
So could I hook this up so it's a big paid for the employees, but too bad. I was an evil security director, by the way.
Okay.
I didn't care if employees were mad about it, right? So I'd say you're going to scan your fingerprints and you're going to scan your card.
Yep.
You can make,
So this can be set up, card reader right in the front and your fingerprints.
Right, which makes it easy.
Or we can connect facial and fingerprint. So any number of technologies.
Again, what are most people doing in your business?
Yeah, most people are looking for ways to make an easier user experience. Again, 95% of ours, single-factor authentication. It's your high-rise building. It's moving a lot of people in fast.
But an easy user experience is not a more secure user experience.
It's a challenge.
I know, yeah.
We have that conversation. The architects are pushing for easy and fast. The CEOs are pushing for get people to work fast. So we're always looking for things like elevator destination dispatch. So badge a card, calls the elevator car, and tells you what car to go to. Things like that. As you pointed out, you shave seconds off of the time, equates to hours of productivity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very neat.
Those are the things we look at. Some of the things we do differently, Chuck, is because I come from an integration background and a lot of my people come from an integration background, we understand the business.
You guys get it. And that's very important. Most people don't get the integration part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only we get the integration part, but we get the project management part. So when we get an order for a turnstile at Orion, we immediately turn out a drawing that says, here's what we think you wanted to buy. Sign off that that's correct. Lane widths, style, colors, we'll send out fit and finish. But then we also have a conference call with all the stakeholders, and we walk them through, here's what the process is going to look like. So we know you need floor templates at a certain time. The electrician needs certain wiring at a certain time. And we'll walk you through that process. In my experience in the industry, the typical project goes, you give me a purchase order, you expect turnstiles in 12 weeks. We tell you along the process, and our shipping time is more 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
But every week you're going to get an update from us. And depending on if that's the end user, we're doing Rolex's headquarters in New York City, and we're on a weekly conference call with them, with all the other stakeholders. So they know where we are.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
When they need delivery. So it's especially with construction sites like that, we're just-in-time delivery. So we're the last people that get installed.
Right.
And it's the highest feature in the lobby.
If we lose all power in the building, any battery backup on this stuff to
there
can be. Get it out of the building? Right?
Yep. So we've partnered with Life Safety Power as our power supply company, and they have battery options. So we can drive this open. In this case, if there was no battery backup, you drop power, ounces of pressure to push this away.
Right.
Our sliding units that open like in this direction, those are all spring balanced, and they automatically retract.
Now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, go to YouTube. You can see all these. These are really architecturally very, very stylish.
Yes, thank you.
Turnstiles. And again, if I wanted marble on top of there and I wanted to pay for it, you're going to do it for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we do marble, we do brass, we do painted. We had a customer come in last year at the show and said, can you do this again? They had a 1,000-lane project in South America. We can do it all day long.
Wow.
You want us to paint turnstiles? We do that in our shop.
Yeah. Excellent. Name of the company?
Orion Entrance Control Incorporated.
Your name, sir?
My name is Steve Caraselli. I'm the president and founder of the company.
And how do we get hold of you?
You can call us at 603-527-4187 or see us on the web at www.orioneci.com.
Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chuck. It was a real pleasure.
Right. That was great.
You're good?
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, thank you very much.